Hello. In today's video I want to show you this awesome golden ghast farm. It uses gas to sweep all the pigmen and gas to the side, and the pigmen are killed by fall damage and the gas are transported to a holding cell where they are killed by suffocation damage. The farm is highly efficient depending at which height you build it, how big you build it and how you kill the mobs. You can get up to 2000 ghast tears per hour and up to 20,000 gold nuggets per hour. That's 4 stacks of gold blocks. You might be thinking catching all those ghasts is too much work for normal survival, but in the detailed tutorial I'll show you it isn't that much work. At most it will take you about 2 hours to catch the 25 required ghasts. But apart from that, the farm is very easy to build and uses very few redstone. The spawning magma cubes are just ignored, they will despawn after a while. Another option would be to kill them with cacti, but this would reduce the rates of the golden ghast tear farm by about 10% because the cubes would split up and would take up a larger portion of the mob cap. Also their drops, the magma cream, can be crafted with slime balls and blaze powder and it isn't that interesting overall. This version of the farm shown here, which will also be the version that I'm building in a tutorial, is a compromise between build effort and efficiency. It yields about 10,000 gold nuggets per hour, which is about 2 stacks of gold blocks per hour, and about 300 ghast tears per hour. The idea to use ghast to farm other ghasts isn't entirely new, so this concept was made independently, but I was later informed that Daniel Kotes showed something very similar in one of his Zipcrowd Let's Plays. I will also link it in the video description. The concept is highly adjustable, so the spawning attempts are dependent on the highest opaque block in a chunk. This would be a version that would be interesting for a few technical servers or people that would remove all spawnable blocks in a nether perimeter, which is a ton of effort. And you would also need to remove bedrock at the ceiling, so the highest opaque block would be at Y30. And this way all the spawning attempts are centered in the lower chunks and you would get just more spawn attempts with the same amount of spawning spaces. And also the ice lane is smaller, so the mobs are killed faster, and by doing this you could get twice the amount of pigment drops and also twice the amount of ghast tears, which would be 600. You could also use the concept of the smaller lanes and build it higher, which has the advantage that you don't have to make a nether perimeter. You can just go above the ceiling, have your AFK spot at Y255, and if you use the smaller strips, then you would need 4 of those, so in total 100 ghasts. That would be also an option to make the farm more efficient. Another option to increase the ghast tear output even more would be to collect the ghasts and kill them with looting 3. So in this version I collect all the ghasts in a central spot, and then you could whack them with your looting sword. Another option would be to use the item frame and potion trick for an AFK version. And this way you can increase the output to up to 2000 ghast tears per hour, so this might be interesting if you need a lot of ender crystals. And I'm sure if you do some more optimizations you even could get about 2500 drops per hour. So let's start with the tutorial of the version I showed at the beginning. You can find a material list in the video description, and I'm in the overworld here, but the biome is hell, so of course you would usually build it in a nether. So the first step you gotta do is get above the nether ceiling. If you don't know how to do it yet, just search on YouTube how to get above the nether. And then we start building the spawning platform at Y174, so we have to look at the block 174. The reason why we don't build it at build limit is to make it more efficient, but your AFK spot would be at Y255. And some of the steps are unnecessary if you already have 25 ghast lined up that you can put in the farm, but I will also cover how to use parts of the farm at the beginning, how to get ghast first. And material list in the video description. We have to start placing packed ice blocks for the spawning platform, and it's 11 long and 52 long that direction. So the mobs will already start spawning, And to prevent gas from spawning, which could get quite annoying while building, you can place blocks like this, and every 5th block in that direction, so you won't get any gas spawns. Yeah, the next step is to go out by 3 on each side and build a wall around it that, yeah, if the farm is done later, that prevents the gas from shooting at you. So you don't need to use glass blocks, you could also use, yeah, other blocks, and here we build the wall right next to it. But I use glass blocks because it looks nicer, then you can look through it at the end. So yeah, do this all around, also here, go out 3 blocks. And then build it up 4 high. So it would look like this, and on this side also put in a single layer. Okay, now it's time to build a roof above it. So first do strips of 3 blocks on each side out of glass blocks. It doesn't have to be glass blocks, you could also use a other non-spawnable block like a slab. And if you would have built that out of blocks where mobs can spawn on, you would also need to put slabs on top of those. So that's how it looks with the roof on the sides. Now go up by 2 and put slabs here. And yeah, make 2 lines. Next you need some sticky pistons, then go down to your spawning floor and yeah, at this block place sticky pistons every 5th block again. And do that on both sides. So at this end it would have stopped right here. Then you could use normal pistons and place them facing that direction. Yeah, I guess you could do it from below. Like this. And also do this all the way. At this end you need 1 extra sticky piston and normal piston. Like this. Now you need some blocks that are easy to remove afterwards. Here you put some redstone dust on it afterwards. So also make a line here and always connect to those pistons. And then fill up the rest with glass blocks. Next, you need to place down a dropper at this end with a hopper on top. Then you need a comparator here, facing into a block with a torch. And then you also need comparators here, also pointing into a block. And a slab here, connected with redstone dust. And then you need repeaters here. And then put an item into the dropper, and then fill this up with redstone dust. Then you always need a repeater on 3, right here. And yeah, here's the same, always a repeater on 3. And again, this all the way back there. Also connect the last piston that faces in the direction in a similar way, so with a delay of 3 redstone ticks in between. Then the next step would be to go down here and put down some iron blocks. Remove that block again. Also make sure that none of the blocks, 3 blocks above, would suffocate the ghast afterwards. So yeah, put down some glass blocks here. You need glass blocks there. And then start placing the rails, power them always. Then we go out a little bit and around. That's where we're gonna build the renaming station. So we need a fence gate here. Then yeah, just go out a little bit and connect this redstone dust and a button so you can send the ghast on its way later. So now go in that direction and we build some holding cells for the ghast. And to do this, always go up by 1 and 2 lower again and so on. And you need 25 of those, and then put some rails down. And here you always need a downwards facing detector rail, just not for the last one, it's unnecessary, but then always need a detector rail here. And also make sure to power the powered rails, and set you need it 25 times. Don't forget to put down a fence gate like I just did. So always put it there. Then you can connect powered rails again. Yeah, the last fence gate is again directly powered with a button. So you can send the gas on the way. And then you need to connect those detector rails to the other fence gates before. Put down a block here so it doesn't connect. Then always torch and redstone dust. Okay, if you're done with that, this is super important now. You always need to put a glass block 3 blocks above the rails so the ghast can't shoot at you afterwards because he can't see you. So also make sure that you put glass blocks above those rails. Then you can prepare some name tags and minecarts. You need 25 for each. And then prepare one last thing, a pickup system for the ghast. And you need to push in a normal rail here. Then you can remove the power rail again, and this rail would pick up the gas. Yeah, and then one last thing, last like correction, you need to put those on vortex delay. And yeah, let's turn the mob spawning back on. And here comes the tedious part. Now I gotta wait for ghast to spawn. Normally it would go up to your AFK spot at Y255. And if you're lucky and the ghast spawns, you can go back down again. So let's simulate that with an egg. And then need some buttons. Put one here and there. And to catch the ghast, push the lower button. As you can see. Would be picked up by the pistons, and the pistons stay down there so you can't escape again. And yeah, now I can catch them. Let's go into game at 0. You can see ghast can't harm you. Put down the minecart here. Now you can name him and push that button here. As you can see, it doesn't shoot at you, so it's looking at you. So what I forgot to mention is that there's still a bug in the game, that if you rename a ghast from the outside, there's a chance that it would despawn despite you've renamed him. To make it more reliable, you gotta penetrate the ghast and try to name him from the inside. And yeah, this increased the chance that he wouldn't despawn. So and this is now the tedious part. You gotta wait for ghast to spawn. So in order that they could spawn again, you have to push the button at the top again. So this would raise the pistons back up again. There's enough space for the ghast to spawn again. So the normal mob cap in single player, or if you're alone on the server, is 70. If you have 70 mobs in there, the best thing you could do is just to leave the area again. So let's simulate that by teleporting. So new mobs can spawn, and there's really a quite good chance that a ghast would spawn before the mob cap is filled. Okay, let's do another one. So if a ghast spawns, press the lower button again. Okay, place the minecart. Rename him by penetrating, push the button, then he would get sorted into the second holding cell. So yeah, those minecarts stand the detector rail, this would always close the next fence gate. Okay. So once you've got 25 gas, you can remove all of that stuff here again, so you don't need that gas catcher anymore. Don't worry, if this farm is done, you'll have a much better gas catcher. Yeah, so everything on the top here, all the pistons, all the redstone, and fill up the holes with, yeah, whatever you use here, glass blocks or slabs. So you can also remove the railing on the side here. And as a next step, I would recommend to put in the rails for the ghasts afterwards. So I already prepared the first 2 lanes. The first lane is a little bit different from the others. So yeah, both of them are flush with the spawning floors. And here we have 2 powered rails, then a normal rail, then a detector rail. And yeah, then we have a powered block here, and I would recommend to use powered rails only. Yeah, you might use some normal rails in between to make it cheaper, but you can also farm just a few pigmen on top. I guess it shouldn't be too hard to get the rails together. So yeah, anyway, here use some slabs. That's where you would send in the ghasts afterwards. So you would, yeah, travel up here. And yeah, instead of the redstone blocks, obviously you can also use normal blocks and levers. So basically the second rail is just some powered rails that are powered. This powered block is 10 blocks away, so you could always unpower a rail to stop the farm. And over here we have also a detector rail on the other side, but we don't need a normal rail between, so because we don't want to deactivate this anyway. Okay, then yeah, there's always 3 blocks in between, and we need 25 of those rails in total. I would recommend to build that next. So it would look like this afterwards, and then we have to build in an activator system. So I got that nice waveform later. Just because there's always a repeater in between, so you have always 2 game ticks delay, and this way you can activate all the lanes. Okay, as a next step, put in the rest of the spawning floor. At the end, like at the other side, that's the end. So there's just 1 block to that side, and here would be the glass wall. So this is 99 blocks long. And if you build it, also make sure to put in the gas spawning stoppers again, because it could get messy. So I've put in the spawning floor and also walls for the side and the roof. Those walls are 3 high on the longer side, and you can make them 4 high on the shorter side. The reason why they're 3 high is because it would be easy to place the pistons afterwards, and also put in the holding cells for the gas. So there's 1 extra glass block here, and that's the 4x4 space for the gas, where you would either kill them, or you could even use this as a gas catcher. You would have a really efficient gas catcher after building this farm. And do this on both sides, so also here, also 4x4, and put a roof on it. So can't shoot at you. And I also left out this line because it's easier to place the pistons. Okay, next step is to put in the pistons, and I mostly did this already, but I screwed something up while recording. So let's do it again. So here you need to go out 4 blocks, and then you always need a normal piston and a sticky piston, like this. And yeah, to power it, we put a solid block here with some dust on top. And for the top part, it's also powered directly with dust. Here we need a zero tick generator. In the old world put blocks below so to prevent light updates. Then a sticky piston of sand and gravel on top, that's important. And yeah, it has to be powered directly, like this, for repeater. Indirectly, of course. And you always need an updating piston to get the zero tick pulse. And that's pretty much it. And at the top, you always need, repeater in between. So like this. So what I screwed up was I forgot to use the updating pistons, and here you need slabs. Okay, and at the start, this has to be powered a little bit later, so put this first piston on 3. And dust here. Like this. Here you need a monostable and connect it to the detector rail. In order to prevent 2 pulses, because there's a little bit time between, I extend the signal a little bit so that it goes in the monostable again, so you don't activate the zero tick generator twice. And that's pretty much it. And if you're done, then you can also fill up the rest of the wall and the roof. So like this. Okay, and then copy that till the end. Make sure you don't make that mistake. So always use an updating piston and slabs here. And it goes this far. And do this for both sides. Okay, then also make sure that stuff like that is bomb proof, and also put some blocks on top of those. And pistons are also no longer spawn proof. In order to be able to put flower pots on top of them, no joke. So you also need to make them spawn proof. So in order to suffocate the gas, we need solid block here. So whenever the gas come in, we quickly retract it, then extend it again, so they could also can't flee. So this sticky piston would send it in here, but usually we have the updating piston here, but in this case we can move it here, so this would also work. So then we need a slab here to power it. Repeater goes into block and down. And to activate it before, let's just connect it to this zero tick gen. So like this. So we would activate it 2 redstone ticks before it's activated again. Then we can fill up the wall again wherever possible. And I forgot to put in the block. Suffocation block. Yeah, it's also spawn proof because there's a roof on top. And of course we need to make this one also spawn proof. And do this for the other side as well. And also put on a glass block or something like that, which is bomb proof in the corner, so there's absolutely no chance the gas could flee to the bottom. Yeah, believe it or not, all the redstone is done. The next step is to add item collection system and add in the floor where the pigmen would hit the ground. So from the spawning floors level you need to go down 23 blocks, so as you can see here. And this would be the slab that would kill him, so it's 23.5 blocks fall height. And of course we need to collect the drops, and we do that with minecarts below. So then you need a 3 wide strip where you would place down rails. So as you can see here, I put in all the rails below, then the killing floor, and also covered the drop chute with a glass wall. So as I said, if you want to kill the magma cubes with cacti, you can place them around this area here, and also leave some space for the drops. But in my opinion, it doesn't make any sense to kill magma slimes. You would slow down the rest of your farm by 10%, so get 10% less gold and 10% less gas tiers. And they only drop magma cream, which is not that interesting. And if you have a slime farm and just a blaze spawner, then get enough magma cream this way. So why slow down? Why should you slow down this farm? Yeah. Okay, so anyway, I also left out some space for the 4x4 chamber for the gas, so all the tiers are collected. Here we have some hoppers that just transfer the items that would land over there to the hopper minecarts. And because most of the drops land on the far side, for the normal unloading system, the farm is too fast for that. And that's why we have to do something special over there. And we need a hopper minecart to unload the other hopper minecart, because it just does it 4 times faster than a normal hopper. So we need to place a hopper minecart here, remove the rail again. Then we need to push in a slab. It's also important that we have slabs here. Okay, like this. Remove the piston again. Then here we have to go up 1. And here we need a fence gate. And a detector rail goes up like this. Then make it spawn proof. Take an output for comparator. Goes into a block. And dust. And that goes into a piston. So if you have a full minecart, you can see it would stop until it's empty, then it opens back up again. And here we need a standard unloading system. So just hoppers pointing down into a chest, and then you take output of comparators. Torches in the back. And a repeater here. Make it spawn proof. Also this one. And put in 2 hopper minecarts. And your unloading system is done. You could disable it, for example, by rejecting those blocks with a sticky piston. This would stop it permanently. And you could also permanently depower this torch, for example. That would unpower this one. And then it's really up to you what you do with the drops. If you want to store them here or transmit them somewhere else, that's really up to you. And of course, also do it for the other side. Okay, farm is almost done. Last step is to put in all the gas. So, we need to add, that should be enough, some rails that go up here. And here we need some switches, so you could take them out afterwards. Okay, and of course also try to put down glass blocks, 3 blocks above the rails, so the ghast doesn't see you. And then just connect it to this end. I'll quickly do that. Okay, put in the rails, and it's a little bit of an issue to transport the gas down, because the blocks that would block the side would prevent the minecart to go down. It would stop it, so I made this little drop and put some blocks here so the ghast can't see me all the time. So let's go into game mode 0, let's connect it, push the button. Oh, this bug again where the ghast is invisible. The ghast is actually in the minecart, but it's not visible. As you saw, it took a little bit of damage when you went through the solid blocks. That's in 1.9. If I relog, you will see he's gone. And he's in there. That's really stupid. So the last holding cell is empty, the first ghast is in there, and now I just have to repeat it over and over again. So if you're done here, you can remove all the rails again and connect it like this, and then do it for all the lines. Yep. And the gas can see you, so even if we could go into game mode 0, he can't see me, he's above the ice, or his, yeah, eye level is above the ice. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit tedious again, but after that, you're done. Okay, if all the ghasts are in there, it would look like this, and then you can turn on your farm with this lever here. And your AFK spot is above the farm, so to make sure that no mobs can spawn below the nether bedrock, your AFK spot would be at Y255. So, and of course in the middle of the farm. So the way it's built now, even if a pigman would drop down in that far corner, he is less than 128 blocks away from the player, so he wouldn't despawn. Okay, of course, yeah, you probably want to adjust the storage system and so on, but that's just a bare farm. Whatever you do with that is really up to you. Yeah, and as I said, you can expect about 10,000 golden nuggets per hour and about 300 gas tiers per hour. And the other versions I showed at the beginning, they're really meant for technical servers that would remove all spawnable blocks below the bedrock ceiling. But you could adjust this farm also to make it more efficient if you need more gas tiers. Maybe you can check the world download. So instead of transporting them with suffocation, if you kill them with looting, you get 4 times the amount of gas tiers. Yeah, so yeah, it's, of course, this farm's quite a lot of effort, but they also get a lot in return, and that's really the way it should be. Hope this tutorial was useful for you. Have a good day, and goodbye.